Welcome back to Chrono Trigger for Moms. I get to open up this episode by explaining something to the rest of my audience, something very technical that you already know in detail, because immediately after posting last week's episode, I had a viewer notice a pretty bad flub in that video. Death to the enemies of fiend kind. I don't think so, pal. This dungeon is all about monsters who are strong against physical attacks, and since we got these brand new magical attacks, they pretty much just want you to cast magic through the whole dungeon. So once again, we're not able to use Robo here, but don't worry, Robo is coming back someday. But yeah, there was a technical flub in last week's video that I didn't catch until it was pointed out to me on my Discord server. I guess I now need to explain what Discord is, don't I? Okay, Discord is a popular chat program used nowadays. Basically the modern version of, I don't know, AOL Instant Messenger or IRC or something. I don't know how familiar moms would be with Discord. I guess it's kind of like a Zoom FaceTime thing, but without the camera. Anyway, I don't want to attack the. I think I want to attack the jar. So, the reason this is funny is because this is something that happened, I want to say probably at least once a week for years and years and years in our household when I was growing up. Because you used to work as a typesetter, and what that is, for people who don't know, is if you open up like a magazine or any kind of periodical and turn to a primarily text-filled section, like their classified ads section. It's somebody's job to pick out the typefaces and the font sizes and make sure that everything is spaced and properly and readable, make sure the text is properly justified, and that the little border lines, stuff's not overlapping, but it also doesn't look ugly. That was Mom's job for many, many years growing up. So what would happen is we'd go grocery shopping, we'd be in the checkout line, and some magazine that she had worked on would be in the checkout line, and she'd pull it out and oh man, there's a terrible error I made, and I had to go to print like that, and I was so embarrassed. And she'd open up the page and point. I couldn't ever tell. It was never noticeable to me. I could never see. Now, I'm at a point in my life where I've done a lot of graphic design work like that, so now I am more sensitive to those kind of errors. But this is something that happened quite a lot growing up, is pointing out those errors. So I want to go the middle here. I think I want to go to the middle first before I go downstairs. Yeah, there's a treasure box here we want to get. So, there are two such technical flubs. One of them was a fatal error that I had to, just behind-the-scenes work. So this is a little bit of a look behind the curtain. For those of you who don't know, the process of making these videos is I record my commentary in a program called Audacity. So I have an audio file that is separate from the video file, and that way it allows me to do some audio editing if I need to. I can go in and remove pops, I can separately fix the volume levels of my speech versus the game audio, so one doesn't completely wash out the other one. And so for most of my videos that I put up, for most of my series, I will do that. I'll go through the audio. For the Saturday series, I don't know which door I want to go through, actually. Let's go through this door first, and then if I have to fight those anteaters again, I will. It'll be okay. Oh no, it's just these three guys guarding this treasure box. Good. There is a principle in RPGs that you always want to go to the dead end first. You never want to go to the actual dungeon exit first, because the dead ends always have treasure. So you want to hit the dead end and get the treasure first, and then you want to go through the dungeon. So, okay, the purpose of the Saturday series, when I originally conceived of it, is there are times in the year where I'm not able to keep up a daily update schedule, or even a 3-4 times a week schedule, which is what I love to aim for. So, but a Saturday series is my way of making content with much, much less work on my part. I just record it, I don't sweat the audio editing, I just chop it. I usually put up in 1 hour chunks instead of 15 or 20 minutes. And I've done a lot of games like this over the years. If you've been watching my channel for years, you know I've done it with like Lemmings, and I think we did some Mario Maker that way. And that's how we're doing Chrono Trigger now. So I'm not going through and doing the audio editing at the level that I would do for a typical video. Like, I'm not sweating it that much. So the downside of that is, like, if I have to cough or sneeze or something while I'm playing a game, or God forbid burp, I mute the microphone, and then I just expel my grotesque biological function. Ooh, a magic scarf. That's probably definitely worth putting on Luca. Oh, this is an interesting thing. Now that we have this party button here, where we can swap out people from the party, we can put Robo in whenever we want. On the equipment screen, we can now access all of our characters at once. So even though Robo's not in the party, I still have him here. I can still like take his stuff off if I want to. What I want to do, though, is give Luca a magic scarf to raise her magic even higher. So hers is 23 now. And I guess that's going to mean for Marl, we'll give her the speed belt for now. And then we'll move that over to Robo when we cycle Robo back into the party. Okay, sweet. Anyway, I have to mute. I have a physical mute button on my microphone that I'm pointing to right now, even though nobody can see me pointing. But it's a little finicky. It's an old microphone. The button doesn't always register properly. And I have to look at the button to see if the little light on it is blinking or not. Because if it's blinking, it means I'm muted. And if it's not blinking, it means I'm not muted. So what happened was I was recording Chrono Trigger last week. And I had to cough. And I muted the microphone and I coughed. And then when I unmuted it, I didn't push the button hard enough. So I recorded some amount of the last part of the video. Didn't pick up any of my audio at all. It was just completely silent. So, okay, that's kind of a fatal error, and there's not a lot I can do to fix it. So what I had to do was just do a bunch of audio in post and pretend like I didn't do the audio in post. Anyway, that's the equivalent of me pulling my video off the shelf and being like, oh, look at this terrible error, this thing that I had to do that, oh, I can't believe it had to go out like that. But of course, nobody noticed that. Nobody on my Discord was like, the audio was a little weird at the end of that Chrono Trigger video. Did you? No, the thing that somebody noticed was that I left my mouse cursor on the screen. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Leaving your mouse cursor on the screen in video game footage that you upload to YouTube is like not realizing that half of your butt is showing out the back of your bathing suit at the beach. It's grotesque and like, oh, it's embarrassing. There's like 3 pixels of my mouse cursor on the screen visible for some portion of that video. And I'm like, yep, this is exactly the kind of thing that Mom would have pulled down in like the National Enquirer back in the day and be mortified over in the grocery checkout line. So that's how my week's going so far. The benefits of Mom working as a typesetter on those kinds of magazines is we always had them laying around the house. Like, you don't want to buy the National Enquirer, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to associate with people that read that garbage, but we had, like, the garbage was just always available in the house. Like, the samples always came home. There was a little stack of them usually. So, our favorite, between me and my friends that I played D&D with, was always the Weekly World News. Oh, Chrono has a blinking eyeball above his head, which means he's blind. He can't see. What that means is if I use a regular attack and a character is blind, they'll probably miss. I don't understand why they have monsters in this dungeon that can inflict blindness, though, because you're not supposed to be using regular attacks against these monsters. This is the magic dungeon. I do need to... Oh, you know what? Oh, Robo can't use Cure Beam because he's not in the party. Alright, watch this efficiency. Here's the problem, is I need to heal my party a little bit, right? Marl is the one that has this heal spell, but it costs MP, and I need to preserve her MP. I've got to go through a couple more fights where she needs to cast Ice. So, what we're going to do is cycle in Robo and use his MP to heal the people up. Instead, because we're not using his MP in the battles, And that's just a way we can play slightly more efficiently. A mysterious force seals it shut. We're going to be seeing more of these little mysterious boxes as we go. Man, we had the Weekly World News, man. And so the Weekly World News is like the most tabloidy of tabloids ever printed. Like, I don't even know if it's still a thing. Like, I don't even know if it's still out there anywhere. Is there anything in the water here that I can get? That's the way forward. Oh, I guess cycling Robo in for efficiency didn't end up mattering because there's the save point at the end of the dungeon anyway. I thought there was a capsule or something down here in the water that I could pick up. I guess not. Anyway. We do need to use a shelter here to get our MPs back. And now we'll see the actual boss fight against the monster that killed me when Lavos was pretending to be this monster in the previous episode. Death to the enemies of fiendkind. Here's Hecaran, and we're going to use the same basic idea. Is Antidote Bomb is the big damage, and when he decides he's going to go into counterattack mode, we are not going to attack him. I think we're going to use Chrono as our healer in this fight with potions. Just because he's the one that can't do the big damage. Like, yeah, Chrono has to cast that lightning spell 3 times to get the damage we're getting out of Antipode Bomb. But he's a little bit faster than the other characters, too, though. Oh, actually, I didn't realize this guy was doing that big of damage. I don't want Luca to die here, so I'm going to break my own rule, and we're just going to sit on Luca's turn for a second. Okay, we have to pause here anyway, so this is a good time for Chrono to just throw some potions out. Excellent. And as soon as he's done, counterattack stance disengaged, Antipode Bomb can come back out. But you see what I mean in the last episode, when he went into his counterattack stance, he like actually uses an animation frame where he puts his arms up in front of his face, like he's prepared for your attack. And if you hit him during that phase, he unleashes Water 2 on you, which is not good for anybody. I'm trying to remember now the good stuff in the Weekly World News. It was always the dumbest, like just the worst tabloid, like Bat Boy joins the army, or like Frog Jesus discovered in Alabama, or it just way, way out there, just like absolute conspiracy theory nonsense. I'm gonna wait for Chrono here. I think that's safe. Oh, never mind. You know, I am gonna wait for Chrono and use Aura Whirl. Get everybody healed at once. So I guess your turn you can just spend using fire. So yeah, Marl is the closest thing the game has to like a dedicated healer character. Let's throw potions out again. Yeah, to you. But the thing is, like, her first tech has to be a healing tech, because that's the only healing tech you have access to very, very early in the game. But because of that, other characters, they get healing techs later because they're not their first tech, because they learn them a little bit later. They're actually stronger. So Marl is the dedicated healer, but she's actually not that good at healing compared to characters we'll see later as we level up. Towards the very end of the game, this becomes just a moot point. Towards the end of the game, we're going to be using we're going to be using powerful items also almost exclusively to heal up as we get that far along. That is the end of Hecaran. If only Lord Magus had destroyed the human race 400 years ago, when he first brought forth Lavos, the world would belong to us fiends now. So Magus created Lavos in the Middle Ages, and in the future, Lavos destroys the planet. If we go to the Middle Ages and stop Magus, can we change history? If we use the gate at the fairgrounds... Aha, okay. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to jack your speed belt and just put this ribbon back on you. And then I'm going to give you the speed belt. And then I'm going to kick Marl out of the party. And there's a very good chance... Now, there's one scene much later in the game where you have to use her in the party, and that's probably the only other time we'll see her. She's going to be on the bench for most of the rest of the game. Almost for a certainty. Jump in? Yes. This seems perfectly logical to jump into the bizarre underground whirlpool. And what's great is we can jump back. Suddenly, we can jump 300 feet in the air like we're superheroes. Just in case we want to travel back to Medina Village without using the time gates. Oh, of course, now we got to fight our way through this cave again. Or does the monster stay dead? I guess the monsters are all... We've completely depopulated this cave. It does kind of bring into question, like... So, there are no more fiends by the time of 1999 AD. Like, humans have eradicated fiends by that point in the timeline. Otherwise, why would they be so concerned about summoning Lavos, right? Because certainly Lavos destroys all the fiends as well. Like, Lavos completely ruins the whole planet. Anyway, first thing we're going to do is hop by Luca's house here. This is Luca's house. It's filled with all kind of bizarre machines. Here's her mother. Luca and Tabin are always off tinkering on their latest inventions. Uh-oh, there's going to be some marital drama. I bought you this apple with what we earned today. Oh, you're so thoughtful. There's a reason I'm reading all her lines as being very sarcastic. So you can't really see it on her character sprite, but the idea here is that Lara, who is Luca's mother, is disabled. Like, her feet are mangled by a machine, and we don't learn that till much later in the game. I guess it's okay that they didn't put that in the character sprite. Like, you wouldn't want to see a character with no legs just on this chair, but that's why she's, like, not moving around the house and stuff, because she can't walk. Meanwhile, Tabin... Oh, perfect timing. Obtained Tabin's vest. Another great invention just completed, the ultimate in defense for my beautiful daughter. So periodically you come back here and Tabin has new armor for Luca. I've been working on some defensive gear for my favorite daughter. So she's the only character in the game that gets this like unique equipment. Nobody else can put on Tabin's vest, and it's good for her speed and her defense. So pretty good thing. The other thing you can always do when you get back to Truce Village at the start of any point after the start of the game is you can go to Chrono's house and meet up with Chrono's mom. Chrono? Oh, Chrono, you had me so worried. They said you were to be executed. Don't worry your mother like that. I guess that would worry your mother if she got word that you were to be executed and then he didn't show up home for like weeks. But you can always bring new party members home to meet Mom. Hi! Luca, you haven't been coming by much lately. I've been busy with my research. Well, don't push yourself too hard and say hello to your parents for me, won't you? Goodness, is this one of Luca's inventions? Greetings, madam. I am Robo. Chrono is my friend. My, how polite you are. A bit strange looking, but well enough behaved. Chrono, you could learn a thing or two from him. Which is weird, because Chrono never talks at all. Like, how could you be impolite if you don't ever say anything? Is there anything else useful to do? Yes, there is. We can go to the marketplace here. If we can find it, the market. Welcome, come on in and have a... Chrono! Oh, you really saved my neck! I wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for you. Yeah, this is the kid that we pulled out of the guillotine in the Guardia Castle dungeons. Was I ever in a tight spot? I'd gone off on a buying trip thinking I'd show my dad I didn't need him anymore. That was all well and good, but then some soldiers showed up at the inn where I was staying to arrest a gang of thieves and mistook me for one of the criminals. They wouldn't listen to a word I said. They were gonna execute me just like that. So, whew, I owe you one. We're in your debt. Thank you ever so much. Don't tell my dad I gave you these. Dad? You're not shirking off, are you? I mean, of course not. No, of course not. Well, alright then. Chrono, I appreciate what you did. So nobody tell him that we got 10 mid-ethers. Now, Chrono, down to business. Please, won't you buy something? I don't think you've got anything I want, because you've got all the same stuff as Melchire. So it looks like Melchire has been supplying this shop with his goods. One interesting little thing we can do... Oh, you know what? No, there's another thing we can do. No, that's in 680. I'm getting my time... I'm getting my my time periods mixed up. But no, if we go back into Guardia Forest here... Because remember, we exited the castle, right? While we were running from the Chancellor into Guardia Forest. And he chased us down this pathway here. But now... Oh no, we can still get in here. I thought he blocked this off. Like, later they build a wall here so you can't get back through here. I guess, I used to think it was because, like, oh, I guess they vanished. We'll just block it off so that they can never come back through. But I guess that happens later in the story. Anyway, here's another one of these bizarre boxes. A mysterious force seals it shut. But now, anytime we go through a time gate, instead of the time gate taking us to the time period it took us to, it instead takes us back to the end of time, and then it opens up the corresponding time gate across the way. So we can go back to Bangor Dome here if we want, which is where we showed up in the future the first time. Take me with you. No. Aw, come on. Sorry, Marl, you're just not that good of a character. If I can get in my light there, go to Guardia Forest, 1000 AD. Yep, sure will. Oh, you know what? I bet it's not until you get the Millennial Fair Gate here, linked to the end of time, because otherwise, if you took this gate, or went back to the Bangor Dome Gate, there'd be no way back to 1000 AD, but to go all the way back through Hecarim Cave. Oh, I didn't mean to fight these nerds. We'll just one-shot these beasties. They are not long for this world, these monsters from the very first area of the game that has monsters. Oh, you know, it's probably good that we fought these, because... learned Fire Punch dual tech. So the way you learn techs is... Like this attack, Cleave, we need 108 TP, which we get after every fight, to learn it. So once we earn enough TP, Chrono will just automatically learn Cleave, Robo's working on Robo Tackle, Luca's working on Napalm. But dual techs, you don't require TP. Instead, what you require is to get the... Where's Fire Punch here? There it is. It says at the bottom of the screen that Fire Punch is Luca's fire spell plus Robo's Rocket Punch. So all you need to do is go into a battle where Luca knows fire and Robo knows Rocket Punch. Like that mushroom battle, we went into that fight, they already knew those techs. And then at the end of the battle, it just checks, like, oh, what dual techs can we award based on what single techs they already know? So all we had to do is put Fire plus Rocket Punch into a fight. We don't even have to use them or anything, they just have to be there. And then they learn them. So I think that's all we can do here for now. So now we know when Lavos happened. Magus created Lavos in 600 AD, and we just happen to have a time portal that goes to 600 AD, right where we left it. Excellent. And again, it just opens up our time portals. Like the corresponding one goes to Truce Canyon, 600 AD. Now, there's only 9 of these portals, and each one sits opposite the one that's linked to, so the Millennial Fair one is here, and the Truce Canyon one is up here. I guess that implies that this Medina Village one is linked to the Mystic Mountain one here, which we haven't been through yet. But it also implies this Proto-Dome one that we went through all the trouble in the factory to open is not linked to anything. So, and there's 2 more spaces. There's a space here that's going to link to here. So, wonder where that's going to go. For now, we just need to head back to Truce Canyon. And we'll see the state of things. Because remember, there's a war going on here between the Guardian people and the Fiends. At this point in time, the war has not yet been won. Apparently, at some point during this war, Magus is going to try to create Lavos and fail, which means the Guardians will win, and that's why the Medina Fiends are pushed back to their little ghetto village on another island. And the Guardians are successful. So 400 years from now, we can have a Millennial Fair. But Lavos still, in this timeline, breaks through in 1999. So, like, what's going on here? If Magus gets defeated and the Fiend Lord doesn't prevail, then how does Lavos still get created? That's what we're going to try to figure out. The bridge is complete. Last time we were here, this bridge was not completed, but it's kind of blocked off. The Guardian Knights are holding it against the Fiend Lord at the moment. Our provisions are depleted. Have the supplies still not arrived from the castle? We'll starve at this rate. Alright, buddy, I'll go get you some food. So yeah, it feels good to be back in 600 AD. Always get our free shelter. There's always a man here with a free shelter. Ah, love to see it. And remember, this is the version of Guardia Castle that's actually pleasant to us. Halt! Who goes there? Oh, it's you again. Thanks. Oh, the king and queen aren't around again. What does the good chancellor have to say? Lord Chrono! Oh, I guess I've been granted lands and title in 600 AD. Nice. The great hero has appeared from the very pages of legend. He arrived not long ago, then left to meet the king. Ah, the great hero of legend. So the Guardians had a prophecy that a hero is going to appear to defeat Magus and win the war. And apparently now that hero has appeared. So there is lots of stuff to learn here. What? My brother's larders are nearly empty? Oh, that's right. The chef and the guard captain are brothers and they hate each other. Serves him right, thinking you men with swords are the only ones protecting this kingdom. Enough of that. Are you never going to set aside your petty feud? You're a grown man. Act like it. ... Mind your own business. What do you know of it anyway? Grumble, grumble. Alright, fine. Everybody here is being a jerk, so... Wait! Please. Take this for the troops. Obtained spiced jerky. And this is for you, here. Ooh, a strength capsule. When you see that fool brother of mine, tell him he'd better come back alive. Aw, he does care about his brother after all. Okay, are we in good shape as far as... Yeah, we're in pretty good shape as far as magic points and things go. So, we have this spiced jerky in the inventory here, and on the other side of the bridge is an NPC that we're going to want to give spiced jerky to. Unfortunately, we have to give the spiced jerky to the troops here. Lord Chrono, what word? Give him the food? Yes. And the only other way to get spiced jerky in the whole game is in a different time period to pay somebody like 10,000 gold to make it for us. It was my brother? I see. He saved us all. I want to know where my lands are now that I'm Lord Chrono. Lord Chrono, if I should not return alive, give my brother my thanks. What's happened? Magus's troops have launched their attack. Our defenses will not hold. So they've rebuilt the bridge, only to have Magus's fiends storming across it. You are Knights of Guardia. Defend the honor of our order and drive the enemy back whence it came. But we are far outnumbered. This is our last line of defense. It must not break. Very well, my lord. We got this. Don't worry. I got a robot. And a lady with a gun. Pretty sure we can handle a couple of skeletons. Alright, so let's meet Ozzie. Ozzie is... Oh, he's telling us. He's one of Lord Magus's 3 generals, and to his enemies, I grant death. Ozzie is the recurring villain of this part of the game. He's a bit of a butt monkey. Go, my children! Take them to their graves. And we're just going to tear Ozzie's skeletons apart. Oh, you know what? Maybe these guys can't be hit by regular attacks either. So Robo's not going to have much to do here yet. Can I one-shot with lightning? The fact that these monsters are undead, the fact that they're like living skeletons and whatnot, kind of implies to me that using the shadow damage on Robo's lasers is not going to be very productive. Let's shoot Ozzie with a gun. Ozzie's in a pickle! Every time you beat up Ozzie, it says, Ozzie's in a pickle. He kind of looks like a pickle. He's kind of the pickle man. Stronger than I thought. Alright, let's get him. Oh, here's dead Guardian troops who were holding the bridge. We have closed the distance. Seems I misjudged you the first time, but I won't do that twice. No, he's gonna do it like 17 times. There's a lot of Ozzie in this game. Oh, this is just wrong. He's using the Guardian troops against us. Slay them all! Alright, man. Yeah, I'm just going to sit on Robo's turn. He might need to throw a Cure Beam out here or there. These things aren't doing that much damage to us. Later, of course, we'll get magic attacks that can hit more than one monster at a time, and those are very helpful. And then I'll have Robo attack Ozzie. Oh, I have a Strength Capsule. Do I want to give that to Robo? I think I do. Robo is actually also a very good candidate for magic capsules. Actually, Robo does a really good job with any capsule. His strength is important. His final tech is a really powerful magic attack, so raising his magic is good. And he's a naturally slow character, so giving him speed capsules are also good. Drat! Oh, this is where he's going to bring out the big guns? That's it! This time you're finished! I mean it! You cannot win. Surrender at once. Oh, this is just... The Guardian soldiers are being used against us. This is why the zombie apocalypse is so dangerous. He's fused the bones of all the Guardian troops into one giant monstrosity. Go, Zombor! Crush Lord Magus's enemies. You got it. So we're going to use Fire Punch here. And what do I want Chrono to do? I guess just attack. Because I think the thing here is that the top half of Zombor tries to steal life from the bottom half when it gets low on health. So you really just want to attack the bottom half, and then the top half will also damage the bottom half for you. I think that's how this fight works. And anyway, this Fire Punch is doing some good work, and so is Chrono's critical hits. His crits are so good. Chrono's the best character in the game by far. Like, it's not even close. And that's pretty common in JRPGs for the main character to be the best. Ooh, let's do some healing now. Do I want to use a mid potion here? Yeah, we want to make sure Robo doesn't die. Chrono, you can just go ahead and attack. Excellent. Because the top half I think we want to use physical hits on anyway. It was getting healed by that magic attack we were using. So yeah, Robo's just going to go into full healing mode now with his curing laser. And we'll just have Chrono and Luca. That's like, what was that, his third critical hit in this one fight? So good. It's actually good practice in a JRPG that has a lot of characters to make the main character like the strongest character in all regards. Just because he's the one that's always going to be in the party, when you go to balance the game, like how strong should monsters be and such, you could always bet on them having at least one really good character on hand. And the game, like I said, doesn't allow you to remove Chrono from the party. He's always with you. So just good practice. He might die here, though. He's only got 62 hit points left. And now this thing is dead, so he's going to steal all of Chrono's MP. But that's it. We've made the bridge safe, and we've pushed back Magus' troops. Excellent. Haha! So now we can explore the southern part of the continent. So this village actually isn't here in 1000 AD. I guess these people die off before in the next 400 years. Just making sure we don't have anything we want to buy, which they don't. I don't think there's anything in this little town actually. Oh yes, there is. There's the locked drawer. Because this guy, is it true that His Majesty suffered injury? Oh, what will become of us in our kingdom now? Oh, dear me, is that a Naga bromide you're hiding there? Won't you do an old man a favor and trade it to me? I'll give you something good in exchange. So this is an item we found way back in the cathedral, hidden in one of the rooms. Truly, you mean it? And I think it's like a pin-up poster of one of those Naga monsters we were fighting. Ugh, gross. Oh, what a glorious day! Now then, just wait here. No need to get impatient. It's unlocked. Feel free to take what's inside. And I'll be taking this bromide. Yeah, sure thing. A magic capsule. Well, we know what we do with magic capsules. Yeah, I'm going to give strength to... Oh, he's already real strong. Yeah, whatever. We'll make him stronger. There's two schools of thought when it comes to these capsule items. Like, do you use items on characters to make things that they're already good at better, like Robo Strength? Or do you use items on characters to, well, we do need to stay at the inn, because Chrono got all his magic points robbed. 50 gold for one night. Will you stay? Yes, I will. Oh, wonderful. Well then, rest and relax. Or you use them to, like, shore up things that they're not good at. Like, Robo is a pretty slow character by default, so giving him speed capsules will help make him better in that regard. I like to give, like, buff things that characters are already good at, so I have, like, super good characters. But there's no really wrong way to do it, it's just a stylistic choice. Ah, Fiona's Villa. First of all, we're gonna just rob her of her treasures. My husband Marco hasn't returned from the war, but we planted and tended these woods together, so I mean to do my best to protect them until the day he returns. Now, I wouldn't blame anybody for not paying attention, but yeah, these woods are in peril. Like, the desert is encroaching upon them from all directions. And if you come to this part in the world in 1000 AD, the desert has taken over the entire continent. The woods are completely gone. Which is sad, but unfortunately true. I don't need an inn. Well, I guess we'll just check to make sure they don't have anything we want to buy real quick. Ooh, we have a golden suits. And Porian beret. So I guess there is stuff we want to buy here. I just need one of these for Luca. And we need 3 of these. 1 for everybody. We'll probably find these. Oh, there's a shiny. A strength capsule. Oh, we like those, man. We sure do, buddy. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to feed Robo strength for now. There's another character in the game who is really strong, but, like, she's actually so stupidly strong that feeding her strength capsule just turns out to be a waste. It's better to give them to somebody who's good at strength, but not the literal best at strength. Oh, I guess only Luca can wear the Porian beret. Only girls can wear berets, I guess, in this universe. Fair enough. There's the tavern. Tata's house. Here we go. My own son, the legendary hero. Seems I sired myself a champion. Can't say I truly see it, but I don't suppose I ought to question good fortune. Father of the hero. I like the ring of it. So the legendary hero that's supposed to defeat Magus and win the war. Just looking for a shiny up here. If there's not a shiny up here, I'm not interested. The legendary hero has appeared, and apparently it's its man's son. Is there anything to do in the Elder's house yet? There is a little side... Oh, there's some boxes. A mysterious force, something, something, something. I always like this little girl sprite in this game, this little green-haired girl. Because this game came out in 1995, so this is a few years after Final Fantasy IV, which is one of my favorite games of all time. And that game has a little green-haired girl that joins your party that looks... Her name is Rydia. And I've always thought this sprite looked like Chrono Trigger's version of Rydia. Unfortunately, there are no Chihuahuas in this entire game. I don't think there's any dogs in this entire game. Actually. So here's the Cursed Woods. And we're going to try to not fight everything in here. But there's lots of, like, frog noises happening. There's a shelter we can have. Let's move around these frogs. Aha! What's in here? Obtained a magic... Oh, another magic scarf. Who's there? Oh, speaking of frogs. Ah, Chrono. Excuse me, it's Lord Chrono now. Thank you. What brings you here? Come to practice your swordplay. What's... His Majesty wounded? Oh, I guess the king has been wounded in the war, and that's why he wasn't on his throne. We must not have spoken to the NPC that has that information. Whoops. I see. There's naught I can do. Pray forgive me, but I'd like to be alone. So Frog, first of all, he's real depressed. Frog is kind of a gloomy fellow. He's got a strong sense of honor and duty, but he's also got a pretty bad inferiority complex. And also, he stepped right in front of the box I wanted to open, Frog. How dare you? Poor Frog. Okay, so next up... If we can sneak past... Oh, we got into this fight. Well, they're just going to regret it. That's all that's going to happen. Because... I want to see if I can Fire Punch. Oh, yeah, they're right in the range of Fire Punch. That is such a bizarre attack, where the frog inflates himself and then drops onto me like a bowling ball. Like, they're not increasing their weights or mass at all, just volume, so... It shouldn't have hurt any more than if just the regular frog landed on top of me. You did mention that even though I'm explaining the game pretty well as you're watching the videos, that it still looks extremely complicated. And you're not wrong, JRPGs, this entire genre, is very complicated. There's lots of numbers, there's lots of things. The whole genre, like the core of it, is about making good decisions based on game knowledge, based on what you know about the game. But as you can kind of see, as we're going through the game, I'm kind of winning most of these fights. What's our chapter now? The hero appears. Haha. We're kind of winning a lot of these fights just by throwing our characters at them, just by spamming the attack button. It really doesn't get more complicated than that. And the monsters don't really do a whole lot of damage to us either, which is nice. And we've been avoiding a lot of fights. Like, it's just, they made the game pretty easy in general. It's just not a very difficult game. And that's pretty characteristic of JRPGs around this time, because they're more story-driven. The reason to play them is to see what happens next in the story, not necessarily to get stuck in the next dungeon or on the next boss fight. But now we're going to check out these mountains. There are NPCs that would eventually tell us that, the legendary hero had to come up into these mountains. Oh, there he is. There's a legendary hero now, that little 8-year-old. But he was sent by the king up into the mountains here to find a legendary sword with which to defeat Magus. So this 8-year-old kid got sent up into the mountains alone, filled with monsters. This is a terrible place. You'd best run away while you can. So, the big man with the hammer, he is completely immune to damage until you burn his hammer. See that critical hit? 34 damage? That's not how a critical hit's supposed to go. But once we light him on fire, and his hammer burns away, then we can just chop his head off. Alright, so this little kid was sent up to the mountains, and there's this little secret area up here. I'd forgotten. Oh, good thing I accidentally touched the top of the screen here and got Robo his new hand. Ooh, that's a +3 attack power. I like that. Anything else? Any shinies or anything for me here? No? Okay. But yeah, the kid has decided to peace out. Like, just being the legendary hero is not worth it. You know what? Fair enough. I wasn't a legendary hero either when I was 8 years old. We just need to make our way up the mountain to see if we can get this legendary sword for ourselves. Because we need to defeat Magus, right? Because we need to, he's the one who's going to create Lavos, and we definitely don't want that to happen. So I guess the implication is in the time stream, our characters at this point in the story have put it together that Magus created Lavos, but then the Guardian army defeated Magus and all of his troops, but Lavos, by that point, had already taken grip in the world. So we need to not just defeat Magus, we need to make sure we defeat him before he has a chance to create Lavos. That's the master plan right now. Oh, this guy's getting in on the party. Your hammer is not that impressive. It's made of wood, it's flammable. You're going to throw it off the cliff now? Actually, I think we can save magic points by using Flamethrower. Because we're not actually dealing damage with the fire spell. We just need to hit him with a fire attack to burn the hammer away. But whatever. Fire has a cooler looking animation, so I guess we'll keep using it. And can we just take a minute, once again, to appreciate this game's sense of place with these beautiful mountain paths and the autumn leaves, and we're actually climbing up and up past this river, and we've got this waterfall. We're going to crisscross back and forth to either side of this waterfall a few times. Just a wonderful, wonderful location to explore. This whole game is like that, and it's kind of the first JRPG that is like that, where they paid so much attention to crafting just beautiful places that feel like the kinds of places you're supposed to be in. These dudes, I think we should fire whirl, right? We want to save... Oh, it's Luca in Chrono, not Robo in Chrono. Never mind. But we do want to take them out in one shot. I was going to say we want to try to preserve Luca's MP so she can burn hammers. Anyway. More Athenian water. We haven't used any of those yet, but if our characters die in the middle of a fight, if we get dropped to 0 health, we can use Athenian water to bring them back to life. There's a golden hat for Chrono. Can I get that box there? Yeah. Up on the ledge. We'll probably go the whole game without using very many of these ethers and mid-ethers, honestly. You know what? I'm going to have Robo take a turn here before I kill this monster, because he is starting to look a little haggard as far as his health is concerned. No, I want Cure Beam for Chrono, thank you. Kind of want to carry a dustpan through this dungeon and collect up all of the just burned hammers that we're making. I forget where you learn how to burn the hammers. I know there's an NPC that tells it to you. A lot of times, like, these little tidbits that I already know in this game is just because I played the game so much. But it is information you can learn. There's game knowledge out in the world. If you actually talk to every character, you can learn a lot of these little things. And that's another thing that's pretty characteristic of this genre of games. It is all about testing game knowledge. First and foremost, it's about making good decisions based on what you know about how to play the game. And part of the way you do that is exploring the game and talking to all the characters. Or just, if you've played the game before, you automatically know what to do. No need to waste magic points against these guys. If they were standing next to each other, then I would use magic because I could hit both of them at once. But unfortunately, there's no regular attacks that can hit more than one character at a time. I always thought it would be cool if Luca got like a laser gun that could hit a bunch of enemies in a line or something with her default attack, but that's just not the case. Stacking up some more gold. I think there's a shiny we can get here on this screen. Is it this screen or the next screen? Alright, there's Chrono's counterattack. We give Chrono that counterattack accessory, and you can see why it's one of the best accessories, because he just gets all these free hits. Every time he takes damage, he wants to nope the guy who did the damage to him. And it just increases his just damage output considerably. Oh, this whole scene is just a big battle sequence. Fair enough. Just burn that hammer away. You'd think he would have heard by now that dudes were coming up the mountain, setting all the hammers on fire, and that maybe he should just stay home. Even when the hammer guy attacks, it's not doing a whole lot of damage, because I'm wearing golden suits, kid. Or better yet, let's like take one of these hammers and teach Robo how to use them. He must have like a hammer program somewhere deep in his processor. Can he just run hammer.exe? Later on, Chrono gets an accessory that increases his critical hit rate to basically 100%. I think it's already something outrageous. Like, he's already critting like half the time. Just the best character in the game. I think I'm doing this battle pretty inefficiently. I should have had Robo punch the goblin, because Luca cannot... Oh, I guess you can one-shot the goblin once the hammer's dealt with. Time to heal. Oh, no, we're still heading up. We made it to the top of the waterfall, at least. But we're still heading up the mountain. Oh, this is where we want to go down the waterfall, isn't it? There's a secret area if I jump down the waterfall rather than going up. I think? Maybe. We'll find out. Don't bring your dingling to the fight. Come on, man. That's not hygienic. If I jump down this waterfall and there's nothing down there, I'm gonna have to go back through that little battle gauntlet area again, aren't I? Well, let's let's do it and find out what happens. What took Luca so long? I guess she didn't want to jump at first. There's a box there. There's a box down here. Silver earring. Oh, is that what I think it is? Max HP by 25%. I don't actually need to raise my hit points. We're pretty survivable with just what we're looking at now. I guess it's nice to have it, though. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Oh, there's just an exit here. And yeah, we're gonna... Oh, okay, it's not gonna make us fight through the battle gauntlet a second time. Nice. So we just right back up to... Oh, we gotta fight the Dingling Man, his broskies again. Have Luca take down the bird. There's one takeaway from this game. It's always set a bird on fire. It's legal in all 50 states. You can set any bird you want on fire anytime you want. Alright, I feel like we haven't missed anything, or at least not anything super important in this dungeon. So we're doing pretty good, but I also don't want to fight. You know, are we just going to let you live? Yep, we'll just let him live. He did not want a piece of this. Oh, the Dingling birds. These guys are very badly placed. Can I fire punch all of them? No. You can fire punch 2 of them. If only their friend hadn't started to fly off the other direction, we could have won the whole fight in one attack. Also, Chrono is standing dangerously close to the end of the cliff here. Like, they definitely need to come through and put railings up. Oh, here's this guy. Mountains are so nice. This is such a nice view. Mountains are so nice. You really aren't going to leave me alone, huh? Here, take this. A magic capsule? Well, we know what to do with magic capsules, don't we? There we go. Luca, 27 magic. Starting to get kind of sexy. Is this where I want to? Yeah, we'll use a shelter here. Oh, Tata and the Frog is the name of our new chapter. You know what? I agree. Mountains are nice. This guy's not going to let us get through here without fighting the monsters, is he? None of these guys have hammers. Did you leave your hammers at home? What's going on? Probably not the smartest thing you could have done. Why can't we just negotiate in peace? And I think the guy at the top of the ladder is going to be a pain in the butt too. Oh, there we go. We're starting to learn all... Oh, Cyclone Sweep dual tech. Fire Sword dual tech. Ooh, Fire Sword. Oh, I like it a lot. So we got all kinds of new techs. Let's see here. Chrono has learned Cleave. He's now working on Lightning too. Luca has learned Napalm. She's now working on Protect. So now we have Fire Sword with Chrono. And Cyclone Sweep with Robo. Yeah, this guy's always just going to be a pain in the butt. You gotta wait for him to jump to the other side. Then we can get into this cave here. I'm the wind! Whoosh! This looks like a legendary sword. Hey, don't go up there! Did you come to take it? The Masamune, I mean. I thought so. Wait just a second, alright? I will pause here to teach a little history. As I understand it, Masamune was a Japanese swordsmith, like back in feudal Japan. So in a lot of RPGs, Squaresoft, the company that made this game, does this a lot, has like a powerful like Japanese sword called the Masamune. They've done this ever since the very first Final Fantasy game. The strongest sword in that game was the Masamune. So when Chrono Trigger came out, the people who translated the game from Japanese into English called this legendary sword the Masamune, even though it's like an English style, looks like a hand-and-a-half sword to me. It's not a Japanese sword at all. It's made in the style of like a European knight. And maybe it's a great sword now that I'm looking at it. But in any way, there's no reason a sword of this style should have a Japanese name. And in fact, it didn't. My understanding is in the original version of this game that was in Japanese, the sword was called the Grand Lion, or something like that. Is it Grand Lion? I should have looked this up. Anyway, the guy whose job it was to translate this into English must have thought that Grand Lion sounded stupid, and you know what? It kind of does sound stupid. So instead he changed the name to something that people who have been playing Final Fantasy games for years now would recognize. So we have the European-styled Masamune. Oh, big brother, where are you, Masa? What is it, Mune? Not again. So, thought you'd make a name for yourself as hero by grabbing the Masamune, did you? What a buffoon. Humans are all the same, aren't they? It's how you use the sword that's important, not just that you have the strongest one. You can't even understand something as simple as that. Guess that proves you're human. What should we do? The usual. Test them. Might as well give them a chance to entertain us for a while. Alright, here we go. Whoosh! Alright, you brats. Let's dance. So Masa and Mune have turned into little gremlin creatures, and we are just going to throw magic at them. Ooh, they have double text too. This should just be over in a couple of rounds. I'm just going to leave it on Robo's turn in case somebody needs to heal here. Yeah, like right there. This is a good chance to get Luca back up to full hit points. Not much to this boss fight, really. This is just the precursor of the boss fight to come. In fact, I think if we had defeated the stage of Lavos where... Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Chrono is confused. He's going to just keep attacking people. So I'm going to use this on Chrono so he stops laughing and we get rid of the spinning star above his head. And then we need to Cure Beam him. Yeah, if we had killed the stage of Lavos that I got a game over on in the last video, these guys would have been the next boss, but not this fight. This is just the fake out fight before the real fight. Luca needs some healing. I'm pretty sure these guys can't really be hit with physical attacks either. Maybe my notes are wrong on the fight, and I'm fighting them in the dumbest way imaginable. I do that sometimes. Sometimes I do things in videos the dumbest way imaginable. But listen to the boss music for just a minute. Like, this is just the regular, you're fighting a boss music. And it's pretty good. It's got, like, good tension to it. Hey, Masa, these ones are pretty tough. No one's lasted this long since Cyrus. What should we do? We fight them for real, of course. Alright, this is it. No more games. Now listen to this boss music when it chimes up. With Masa's bravery and Mune's brains, we're unstoppable! Totally different boss music. This is the boss music the game plays when it wants you to know, hey, now we mean business. So this is where we bring out the big guns. Fire sword for 500 damage. You know what? I'm just going to keep on healing Luca. Now, Masamune is going to do something here in a second where he's like storing up tornado energy. And we have to use a very specific attack in order to prevent him from storing up so much. Yeah, storing whirlwind energy. So we have to hit him with this move here in specifically. This wind slash. And then whirlwind energy dissipated. If we had let him keep building that up, he would have used an attack that's just so incredibly powerful, it probably would have killed somebody, is my guess. It probably would have done something like 200 damage. Fire Punch is good, but it's definitely not as good as Fire Sword. So we're going to stick with Fire Sword. The benefit of using Fire Sword, of course, is it leaves Robo's turn open to cast Cure Beam. Robo's lasers are so well oriented, he can even target them at himself. It's very, very useful. But I love that this game has, like, the regular, like, normal you're fighting a boss music, and then it also has, like, the really important, like, these are the fights that... These are the fights where, like, the whole fate of the world hangs in the balance. So anytime you hear this song in the game, you know you're fighting something... not just because you got to the end of a dungeon, but because it's, like, intrinsically important to the timeline. Like, it's very, very important who gets the Masamune sword, because the person who gets it has the ability to... We do have to use an ether here, because Chrono is out of magic points. Whoever gets the Masamune has the power to kill Magus, and Magus is the one who's going to create Lavos. He's also the one that is endangering the entire kingdom of Guardia in the war against the fiends. So claiming the Masamune is important in a cosmological sense, in a way that nothing we've done up to the game in this point has been. To this point in the game, we've just kind of been tripping through time gates and winding up wherever we wind up. But now we're actually, like, getting our stuff to... Ooh, Robo Tackle. I love that move. That's a good one. Yeah, we're starting to get our stuff together now, and we're really going to do things that are important. Like, we're going to fix the time stream. And step one of that is claiming the Masamune. They beat us, Masa. That was fun. Do you think they'll fix us? Will they find our proper owner? Yes, it'll be alright. All that's left is to claim the sword. Ah, but it was only an illusion. For the sword... The legendary Masamune that's required to kill Magus is broken. It's just a broken piece of blade. This sword is the legendary Masamune. Its appearance would indicate that a great deal of time has passed since it was broken. We have the broken Masamune. Allow me. We'll ride the wind to the base of the mountain. Good luck to you. Good, because I didn't want to walk all the way back down this mountain. It was a big mountain. I guess we could ride the waterfall down. So they just throw us off the top of the mountain, and that's fine. But, remember, the kid who was supposed to claim the Masamune, like, it was his job as the legendary hero, is now hiding under the stairs of his house. Forgive me. Truth be told, I plucked this badge from the floor of the tavern. Some besotted froggish fellow dropped it as he stumbled out. I thought to sell it, see, but then everybody started calling me the hero when they saw it, and, well, I didn't know what to do but go along with it. Aw, Dad's upset. But it's too much for me, this hero business. I've had enough. Here, you can have the badge. Oh, what was I thinking? I knew it'd turn out to be something like this. I ought to have seen it sooner. Oh, are you going to beat your child when we leave? Oh, letting myself get all swept up when I should have been looking out for my boy. Well, from now on I'll make sure both of our feet stay on the ground, for his dear departed mum's sake. Listen to him. And who does he think was going around bragging to everyone he'd raised the hero? Alright, so Tata isn't the hero, but he picked up the this hero's badge, which boosts the critical hit rate of the Masamune, and which nobody can equip. Like, nobody's allowed to put this on. It's not on anybody's accessory list. But he told us who dropped it, so the plot thickens. If I've got this right, this must mean that Frog is the legendary hero who is destined to defeat Magus. Oh, you guys are getting lasered. I'm sorry. It's just gonna happen now. You should not have gotten in my way. Get laser spinned. They're just making it rain. Alright, don't make my boy get all rusted joints on me now. Nobody wants to see that. I just wanted to go up and see my boy Frog. That's all I wanted to do. Find out, get to the bottom of this whole Masamune business. And the evil frogs got in my way. I kind of need to heal, actually. I did not heal after the boss fight. You've returned? That badge. I see. So you met the lad. But there's not a thing I can do against the Fiend Lord. To fight him would require the legendary Masamune, which is... No, it matters little. Even had I the blade, I've no right to wield it. Please, leave me be. Oh, Frog's really a downer, dude. But now we can open the box. And inside is a broken sword hilt. This is part of the Masamune. Something is written in an archaic script. I will attempt to decipher it. Roy Clem. Error! I reversed the order. It says Melchior. Melchior? That guy from Medina? No, it couldn't be. Huh. Well, okay. Now we have both halves of the broken Masamune, and we have a lead on how to repair it. The weird thing is, the guy whose name is written on the sword lives in a house 400 years in the future. That's pretty bizarre. So we're done here for now. We've done some good work. We pushed back Magus's army. We reconciled the castle chef with his brother, the guard captain. We acquired the hero's badge. We made sure that a small child did not get murdered by hammer-wielding ogres in the mountains. And we acquired both halves of the legendary blade. All that's left to do is take the sword pieces back to Melchior and get to the bottom of the situation. Like, why is his name on this sword? The investigation will take us back to 1000 AD. But every time we arrive here, obviously, since there's a nice, just free heal potion sitting here, we'll take that. Thank you. Alright, Medina Village is this one, yes? Yes. Excellent. Melchior, you got some explaining to do. Oh, you're back again. Come to see my this sword, it's the Masamune. How did you get this? Why would your name be engraved on that sword? So, this song is called Corridors of Time. And It might be the best piece of music ever composed for 16-bit software. This song is so gorgeous, and this is the chiptune version of it. It's been obviously remixed and redone and remade with actual instruments, and it's just a glorious and beautiful piece of music. I have listened to this song on repeat for hours and hours and hours, and we don't have any context for it yet. This is the first time we hear it in the game, but we don't understand yet what its significance is. We're going to learn that much, much later. This is a very long story. But that is the story you came to hear, is it not? Of course! Tell us about the Masamune! Can you reforge it? I could, were it possible for us to get our hands on some of the Dreamstone from which the sword was made. Dreamstone. No record of such a substance exists in my memory banks. It's nowhere to be found anymore. It was a glittering red stone, once valued even more than gold. Unfortunately, that was long, long ago. Longer even than you could imagine. Well, let us just say I doubt you'll ever find any, but if you should, I'll be more than happy to repair the Masamune. Keep it with you until then. So, would you like to buy anything? I don't think you've got anything new. No, you've got all the same stuff. Thanks, buddy. Well, so Melchior will repair the Masamune for us if we bring him Dreamstone, but there is no Dreamstone anywhere. It hasn't been around in a long, long time. So I guess we're saving the game here in literally the same spot where we started the episode, right outside of Melchior's house, yearning for the rare red rock.